I'm here at MCM with Simeon Aston, who's the artist from the Metal Made Flesh series. It's an amazing dark cyberpunk world you guys have put together. You can obviously see there's influences from Ghost in the Shell and Blade Runner.
What got me into this style of drawing is kind of like movies in the 80s, things like Blade Runner, Alien, Terminator, things like that. Mostly like the production design and like the sort of retro sort of influences that came from things like art like Mobius and Gimenez and heavy metal and things like that.
You've been commissioned by Heavy Metal as well recently to do a short story?
Yeah. One of our short stories featured in a new comic was actually picked up by Heavy Metal, and I'm actually working with them now on a new project.
I see you're sporting the T-shirt there.
Yeah, I've got a free T-shirt from them as well. So it's all good. It's interesting that the stuff that's kind of inspired me early on are now
those people are clambering to get your work in their magazines. You've set up an incredibly detailed world. You've got all these different characters working in their own separate lives, just trying to survive. It really epitomises like high-tech, low life that cyberpunk really is.
Metal Made Flesh has been a passion project of mine for about 10 years. We're working with Jeremy Biggs from Zombie Bears, collaborating with him, and basically started with some concepts, some drawings and the characters and some scenarios for the world that I created. And together with Jeremy, we sort of fleshed it out into a series of books. We started with an illustrated novella about sort of 4 or 5 years ago, and now we've just released our first full graphic novel with art by myself and also Phil Buckingham and Gary Erskine.
And you've worked with some incredible people on this one. The Kickstarter was what percent funded in the end?
About 500% funded.
Yeah.
Some really good feedback and stuff, and it just seems to be getting bigger and bigger every time we do something new. More and more people get behind it.
What's next on the horizon for Metal Made Flesh?
We're either going to tackle the main story thread, or we might do another series of short stories with some other artists, maybe bring Bill and Gary back to do some more work for us. And we're just focusing really on expanding the universe and fleshing out the characters with more interesting stories, maybe introduce a few new ones as well.
I've seen so many people coming up to the stall, people that are repeat customers, people coming up saying they were on your Kickstarter. It's amazing work, it's really interesting, and it is great to see something so dark that isn't kind of held back by working for any of these major labels, that you can actually just do your vision the way you think it should be done. And I mean, these aren't safe for work, these aren't safe for kids, these are some proper dark cyberpunk things.
For kids. I mean, we don't go out of our way to be brutal, but it's always good to have a bit of violence, and
it's always good to have a bit of violence. I think that's a good tagline. We'll put that on the next one. Awesome.
Maybe, yeah.
Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing the next ones you bring out here, man.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.